All right, we're here with Braden Langley, and we're having a great conversation. Braden, I want to shift gears just a little bit because there's
Yeah.
this topic that I want to talk about. Not that what we're talking about isn't exciting and fun. It really is necessary that we open that discussion as well. But Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett says her son, 12 years old, asked why she had a bulletproof vest after the Dobbs leak. Okay. I know you did a show on this because I watched it and it was great. You had some great views on this whole thing. We're talking about violence from the political left. We're talking about these red flag laws or actually we're talking about swatting, which eventually turned into red flag laws, but swatting was the initial tactic used by the left against gun owners to get gun owners in trouble. So now they're swatting Supreme Court justices. What can you tell us about this? What are some of the key points that you would like to talk about this particular topic?
You know, that one was it's an interesting one because it set off a firestorm, right? The internet immediately went to resign now, recuse yourself from anything and everything, get off the bench. You can't handle it. You can't hack it. You can't do these things. And of course, the internet is always, you're going to find the most extreme opinions immediately. If you want to hear the most extreme opinions in the world, open X. I mean, on anything, like just open up any social media outlet, you're going to find the most extreme opinion possible. It's like, I mean, anyway, but the thing about this is it speaks to two or three different pieces to this. Marco Rubio, I'm not sure if you guys have actually seen it yet. Marco Rubio is doing a entire little international community kind of get together around the threats of Antifa and far left violence. Right. He's putting all these organizations in the exact same room and all these countries in the same room, talking about our combined issue about transnational, anti-government, anti-Western civilization, far left, socialist, communist, crazy people. Mm-hmm. And it ties into this directly. Because if you look at everything that you're seeing, the left is using political violence as a tool of intimidation. Now, very unwise, considering they're poking the biggest, most well-armed bear on the planet, but they're still doing it. It's that poke the bear once and hope for the reaction.
I think it goes back to thing. I think it goes back to the ignorance that John was talking about. Maybe they don't think that there's ever going to be any backlash or something. They don't think that they're going to have to pay any consequence.
Well, they're hoping for the backlash, though. That's the game. You see this anywhere. Right. You see it in the gun world. You see it in the broad political space. They constantly poke, and then when you react, it's your fault for reacting. And the story is now you reacted versus all the antagonism that was going on, right? It's a 100% provocateur approach. But when you look at specifically the Amy Coney Barrett situation, I don't blame her for being scared for her family, right? Maybe that's a crazy hot take, right? It's like, whoa, how could I say that? Because I'm a human.
I agree.
Everyone is a human. We all have families. Like, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have families, right? So, of course, that's a consideration. But my natural gut reaction on this is not to say, oh, you're afraid for your children because far left crazies who have openly assassinated people, have killed CEOs in the street, have burned entire buildings down, entire cities down because they didn't like something politically for the last 5 to 6 years. You're afraid for your family with that? Right. Not to mention attempted to assassinate the president twice. So you're telling me that you're afraid for that? What's wrong with you? No, I think the question is, if you're not afraid for that, what's wrong with you? Like, this is a very genuine concern that we deal with in our current society because the lefties have melted their brains. I'm not talking about everyday Democrats. I'm talking about the far left ones. Like the blue hair septum ring wearing ones. Those guys, that crowd. The protest 24/7 because I'm up happy with, something. But when you look at Amy Coney Barrett in that scenario, the answer, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this, is not to say, hey, you need to no longer be a jurist. You can't be a Supreme Court because you're afraid for your family. No, the question should be, how much protection can we give these people because they're doing what they need to do? They need to be properly insulated from that violence and threat in order to do their jobs appropriately. Because if you leave them out to dry, you're opening a scenario to where they can be influenced by violence. If they don't feel that and they are insulated in a protective envelope, that won't be a concern. So this is just my take on it. It's kind of like what we're talking about. If you look a little further and you look at the overall environment, what are we going to do to prevent this from being a problem versus just, hey, you need to be tougher. We all have risks. Suck it up. That's
Right,
not
no.
the right answer.
I agree with you, because I think a normal person would tend to be influenced by this
Yes.
violence, because you're fearing for your life. I mean, of course, it's the most harsh form of leverage that you could use on a person. And I think you'd have to be, I don't know what kind of person you have to be to not let that bother you. It would bother me. That's why I carry a gun. But
I just have a little bit more of a vindictive streak. I was like, oh yeah, leftist violence.
Well, yeah, right.
And how many decisions did you have available for me? Okay, so we have loss. Enjoy that.
Well, exactly too. I would tend to be a little defiant in the same way.
Well,
I
right.
would say,
That's what
okay,
I mean.
well, that's the way you want to play. Okay, well, then I'll take this position on these cases here.
Right.
But but I mean, she is a woman, and I don't blame
What is
her.
a woman though, Dan? Like, what
Well,
is a woman though? Have we really identified that yet?
We haven't yet on this
Is
show.
she
I
a
don't think-
birthing person? I think she might be a birthing person.
If a uterus doesn't matter either, apparently, I guess. I don't know. This is a new thing.
Still have a period.
What is a uterus these days anyway? We're already going to blot out the sun because global warming and, sunburn. So why not? Why not re-identify everything else?
Oh,
The
man.
wildest thing. We live in the wildest timeline ever. I just want to say
It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. If someone came, to the future from the 1950s, and just the
gosh.
average guy, you and me me and John back in the 50s, what are our priorities back then? Going to the local, ice cream shop to meet our girlfriend, or going to the sock hop, right?
I am going to every single Ace Hardware store when they start, and I'm going to get every single Colt Python and put it in a gun safe.
Exactly.
In bulk. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know about you. Like
buy Apple and
big ones,
Microsoft
not the
stuff
small
when it
ones,
comes
like the big ones.
Great.
But imagine, so you got your little job at the hardware store, you're working at the local hardware store, the grocery store, or whatever, and they fast forward you. They put you in 2026, and you have to navigate your way through this insanity. Could you imagine what that would do to the human brain?
Oh, man. Could you imagine being that tour guide, the acclimation expert? Okay, Mr. Sock Hop from 1950s. As you can see right over here, we have 3 humans. We have 1 birthing person. We have a ficus right there. And then we have a human who identifies as a dog and uses a cat box. Right. What the hell?
It's weird. Well, I just saw.
Oh yeah, and that's the weird couple over there. They're heterogeneous and they reproduce.
Right, exactly. They're not the norm anymore.
They believe in natural rights and stuff. That's bizarre. Oh man,
so funny. Just all the things, boy. You open up a whole world of stuff. I mean,
listen, you said 1 hour, and I was like, is that it? Let's go. Let's have some fun.
But Amy Coney Barrett.
Sorry.
So she said she carried the bulletproof vest into her house, put it into her bedroom, dropped it down on the table, turned around, and her 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of her bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why she had it. Well, again, this 12-year-old kid is like the 50 sock hop guy coming to 2026. Yes. He doesn't understand that someone would want to kill his mom for making a decision as a court justice. It's just we've come so far with this violent attitude, political violence, I should say, that it's amazing. It really is amazing. And we I don't know. Are we going to be able to unwind this thing, or are we going to? Or what's going to happen here? Civil war? I don't know.
No. So that's one of the favorite things that a lot of people online want. It's a flashpoint. It's a sexy little conversation of like, ooh, Civil War 2.0. No, I genuinely do not believe we are at that point. And this is why I say that. I mean, a lot of people will disagree with me, but I'll back it up with here's my thoughts on it. And you guys bounce this off. You talk about it. We are already beyond the point of a even split 50-50 countries going down the tubes, not going down the tubes. You're watching all this far lefty extremism because they're losing the argument, and they're losing the country, and they're losing electorally, and they're losing in the people of just population. People are leaving their states in mass. Companies are leaving their states in mass. Finances leaving their states in mass. And in 2030, I don't know if you're aware, but the Electoral College is going to reapportion. And when that happens, they're losing 7 different Electoral College votes, and they're losing 14 seats in the House as of right now based on population moves. So you're looking at the death throes of the far left ideology in the country, and they're only going to get louder and more intense. That's not a civil war. That's an isolated pocket of crazy.
Danny,
and they
what
wouldn't
did
do that.
Danny, what did he say in Almost Famous? This you've made you're the death rattle. What was that? What was that?
Oh, you'll meet them all again in the long journey to the middle.
Well, you'll meet them all again in the long journey to the middle, but you made it just in time for the
death
rattle.
rattle.
Yeah.
And it's the early 70s.
But so that time frame though, and that's what I was about to go into, which is a perfect segue. That time frame that we're in the 70s is just like now. You're watching if anything's a 2.0, it's the hippies 2.0. They've just gotten more vocal, and they've had social media, which extrapolates their entire viewpoint. But not their viewpoint, extrapolates their volume. That's it. It's the exact same behaviors, it's the exact same norms, it's the same standards, and you see politicians on the left kowtowing to it and placating to it. But one of the dead giveaways is how fast they're moving from topic to topic. I don't know if you've noticed this, going back directly to our world in this a little bit, they've completely abandoned the gun control push. Have you noticed that? You haven't heard a word about gun control from the media. You haven't heard a word about gun control from gun controlling politicians. That is a mainstay topic. Chris Murphy hasn't mentioned the word gun control in 3 years.
Right.
I mean,
and
why?
J.P. Pritzker, what's his name?
J.B. Pritzker. Yeah.
J.D. Pritzker. He's not talking about the 50 caliber guns that can take out helicopters.
Look at the why. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
They spent 4 years as that's all they talked about.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it doesn't exist because they're shifting narratives and they're shifting viewpoints because they're losing. That's what going back to the beginning part of this conversation, from the Amy Coney Barrett part to the talking points part to all the conversation that we've had so far. It's all rooted in the idea that they are resorting to the most extreme outcomes, the most extreme actions, because they are losing in the court of public opinion. They are losing this conversation. You have all the stats, you have all the support, you have all the proof you need to prove their points wrong.
Yeah.
So they're moving them around. They're shifting the goalposts. They're trying to figure out what works. The border and immigration, they got smoked. Gun control, smoked. Inflation, smoked. I mean, literally everything that they've gone down the road of for the last 3 or 4 years.
That's true.
Is smoked. Transgenderism, that worked out well.
Yeah, that's true. You got a very optimistic view on it, and I appreciate that, because you're right. I mean, look at some of the firearm cases. Look at Bruin, for instance. I mean, and now we got 2 cases going up to the Supreme Court for semi-automatic rifles and
for ARs.
Yeah, this is great stuff when you really think about it. And you're right. I think they've hit the wall to a point where they don't really know how to deal with it anymore. So I think they're scrambling to a certain extent. I think you're right.
I mean, to me, if I had a dream, and we alluded to this, and wherever, I'm having a great time in this conversation. This is awesome. The point at which we're at right now is such an amazing opportunity. I mean, an amazing opportunity. When you're talking about our country in general, incredible opportunity. When you're talking about the gun world in general, I have this vision for the gun world because there are no better warriors out there for our rights than the Second Amendment advocates. I don't care. Pick any other special interest group in the conservative alignment. You pick abortion, you can pick immigration, you can pick money policy, foreign policy. It doesn't matter. Any group holds no candle to the Second Amendment. Right. Our advocacy and our collective power that we have with all of our talking points, our media, our distribution, our knowledge on the topics, the support from the Supreme Court with recent rulings, it's unmatched. And the second that we start to realize that we were the punching bags and the pincushions for the Democrats and the leftists for 10, 15, 20 years, and now they're trying to do it to the general population, and we move out and say, hey, we did this before, here's how you beat it, we'll be unstoppable. Well, we will be the force that saves the country.
And I agree with you. And you know what the irony of that all is that the reason we're so strong is because they made us strong.
Oh, they pounded us into steel, man.
Exactly. They pounded us into steel. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. And now they've created a monster that they won't defeat us, and they won't defeat the Second Amendment. Yeah, we're going to have some battles, and we're going to be back and forth in court, but we're starting to see some results. You know, McDonald, Bruin, all these cases.
Well, so many on the left, though, don't even understand that these cases exist.
Right.
They think that it's just a bunch of people yelling and screaming at each other and arguing, and we're all stupid and they're all smarter than us for some reason. They don't understand any of the underlying. So, like he said, that we're going to be the ones that are going to make the difference in the world in the next 20 years because things are going on. We're doing stuff. We have strategies to make things happen. That's the point.
I'll be devil's advocate on that, and I'll say that we don't know the insides of all their voter fraud. Their voter fraud is a complex system. And we're ignorant to that, which I hope Republicans are getting smarter now, and I think we are. Braden, you could probably comment on that, but yeah, you're right. They don't really understand all the inner workings of these Second Amendment cases and how the Second Amendment is.
They're just responding emotionally, and they feel. You know, I belong to the Moms Demand Action group on Facebook, and it's just every day it's just insanity, one thing after another. I'm like, where do you live? Like, what kind of life do you have?
Well, you're in the belly of the beast there.
It's crazy.
Well, the comment section is 99%. The comment section is 99% against them. I never see positive on.
It's always a joke. They're always making telling their idiots.
It's always gun owners just shooting them down. I don't think they really have the support. Obviously, go ahead, Braden. Sorry.
Oh, it's 100% astroturfed. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go ahead. You can, if you want proof of that. By the way, just for fun, if you want proof of that, you can look at all their X accounts and their YouTube channels and all their Instagram accounts. They have like 1.5 million followers, 1.10 million follower, 1. Whatever follow, and like 4 people comment. It's like,
exactly.
Something makes no sense there.